A very interesting topic this morning, and one that's very timely as well, as we have both Dollar General and Dollar Tree reporting earnings. And I'm really, really curious to see how these stores have performed throughout this. And, I'm sure there's some winners and there's some losers in this space, especially as from what I've been reading, more and more people may be using these stores as a way to get their groceries as well.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I think that's the key, is that right now there's a lot of people who are looking to be a little bit more frugal with their money. Things are tight. They've lost their jobs, and maybe they're on unemployment, or maybe they're working less hours. Maybe they're a business owner, small business owner, and they're not sure what the future holds, and so they're tightening up a little bit. When we look at just in general, are people trying to save money right now? That's actually up year over year, not a ton, about 7%. But when we look at like this chart shows the purchase intent comparison over these discount retailers, you can see that Dollar Tree and Dollar General have massive spikes over this last little bit as people are going there to get groceries. Same for Grocery Outlet, which is a newer company, or an IPO, I think, over the last year. While another one, Five Below, who does not sell groceries, is not seeing that spike at all. So I think it's very clear what the difference between these are. It's that people are looking to save money, and they're looking to go to these stores that can sell the non-durables like groceries, and that's extremely important right now for these companies. And we look at Dollar General; it's the highest purchase intent quarter we've ever had on record, up 150% year over year. Dollar Tree, very similar, about 105% up year over year on this quarter. So it's a massive, massive increase. I think that the investors and the analysts are aware of this, but they may not know to the extent which it's coming. So we're seeing that these stores have really seen a ton of new customers, or a ton of repeat customers coming in, spending that money.
Yeah, this is, Landon, this is an example really of another chapter in the story of where this economy is going. Here's my question for you, though. You've got crystal clear data on Dollar Tree, Dollar General, but the stocks have acted a little differently. Dollar Tree is significantly off its highs, where I look at Dollar General's fairly close to an all-time high. Is there any reason why one has acted so differently than the other? If these companies are so similar in their attraction of new and old consumers and their retention, why are their stocks acting really in two different ways?
That's a great question. I think it may have to do with the product mix a little bit, in that there's some potential supply issues, supply chain concerns for Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, but And again, that purchase intent, Dollar General up 150% year over year, while it's only 105% up for Dollar Tree. But I think that honestly, if you look at these two, they're both booming right now, and Wall Street is expecting both of them to boom. But clearly, based on the price action, Dollar Tree is the less favored one, when really our data says that they're both doing extremely well. So if I'm a value investor, I think I'm leaning towards Dollar Tree, just because, again, it's much better. It's much more appealing to me to buy something as it's pulling back. You can get more shares, and you can see that maybe test all-time highs, versus Dollar General, which is already at all-time highs. So between the two, as a value play, I think that it's Dollar Tree, and I think that they may actually do a little surprising on the upside, because the data is just so strong. And everybody knows it's coming in strong for Dollar General. Dollar Tree, they may not understand just how strong it is.
Yeah, and Landon, the only thing that I would add to that is that I see, at least over the last 2 weeks, I have a 10-day percent change at the top of our platform. There's a little label study that just calculates it real quick for me. Dollar Tree is up, when I look at it, 18% over the last 2 weeks, where Dollar General is only up 1.8%. So over the last few weeks, it seems that, Dollar General's kind of gone sideways, where Dollar Tree is starting to make a bit of a comeback. So to your point, guys, maybe Dollar Tree is in for a bit of a run higher here, if it's going to converge the same way that we've seen Dollar General work. But Landon, my question to you is regarding, kind of this repeat customer and these consumer trend shifts. Do you think that this kind of environment maybe made some people who maybe were shy of going to a dollar store to buy groceries go there maybe out of necessity or trying to be, a little bit more frugal? Now that they've done it, they're more likely to continue doing that even as things improve and get more back to normal. As they've done it, they see what it's like. They're comfortable with the experience, and I don't know, maybe even have some info on that consumer sentiment, that happiness around this. Are they going to be happy to go back?
Yeah, I think that's really the key. I don't know that they're making new customers. I'm sure that some people are trying this for the first time. I know the Columbia Business School just did a study that says that low and middle income people, they're spending their money when they have it on food and prescriptions right now. I mean, they're going for the basics, and that's the kind of place you're going to go for this. But another interesting stat is that Dollar General, about 75% of its stores are in towns of 20,000 people or less. And so this is where maybe it doesn't make sense to put a Target or a Walmart. This is the Target or Walmart of that small town. And so I don't know if it's really creating new habits, but I know that it is causing people to maybe go to these places and spend a little bit more because their dollar does go a lot further at these dollar stores. Here we've got a chart showing that people are thinking more about their pocketbooks and how they can stretch their money. It's not gone up like crazy like you might expect it in a time like this with economic uncertainty, but it is up significantly year over year, and it is continuing to trend higher, which is a good thing for these retail discounters. And so, yeah, I'm not sure if it's making a ton of new customers, but it is definitely getting people in the door, and they're spending a lot more money there right now, at least at the ones that sell groceries. A company like Five Below, which is the definition of non-essential goods, is not seeing an uptick at all in spending. And so it really comes down to can people who need groceries go get groceries at a cheap price, and Dollar General and Dollar Tree are filling that bucket right now.
Guys, can we put that frugality chart back up there? Because I think this is extremely interesting. The fact that it's almost just been a steady growth, the way, you almost wouldn't even know that something's going on right now if you just looked at that chart. Kevin, what I get from this, and again, you're drawing conclusions, you're taking information, and you can only do what you can with this stuff, is that people aren't worried yet. And we've seen the stats that 80% of the people who are currently on unemployment feel their job is going to be there for them to return to. And, this to me says that that's still intact, that the majority of people feel as though life's going to be able to get back to normal at some point here in the future, and they're not worried about it yet. And the stimulus that the government's provided and the unemployment that is out there is enough to bridge this gap. Until I see this, I think could be a leading indicator for that potentially.
I think what's really interesting to add on to your point, Alex, is that in the last 90 days, we've had one of the best markets we've ever seen turn into one of the worst markets we've ever seen, and then make a Lazarus-like comeback to the stock market. And yet the frugality mentioned, slow, steady climb in good markets and bad markets. There's just a very lack of volatility in those numbers. There was no rush to frugality. It's like a slow and steady increase over a period of time. I think that's really an interesting fact that it's counterintuitive to what I would think is happening, frankly.
And Landon, is there a possibility that maybe people are just shy of mentioning that as well? Maybe this is just something they keep close to the vest and don't talk about?
Yeah, you would think so, but people are not shy on Twitter, and they share everything and anything. And yes, there's probably a smaller sample size of people who are willing to say that kind of thing that may be embarrassing for other people. But those who do are still sharing it, and so there's a certain percentage of people that'll share anything, and those are the ones that we're kind of bellwethering off of. But you're right, Kevin. There was a slight uptick in the first or second, third week of March when all this kind of happened. It's very small on this 90-day moving average, but it's been mostly kind of a steady uptick over the last, 15 or 20 months or so. And so it's interesting. It's definitely on people's minds more and more. But think about where these people are spending money, especially if you're getting a stimulus check for $2,400 for your family, or if you've got kids more than that. You want to stock up on things, and you want to make that dollar last. And these discount retailers, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, places like that, That's where you're going, and that's what the data is showing. It's showing incredible quarter numbers, and it's just going to be how much are they up. It's not a question of whether or not they're up as far as revenue goes, and then the reaction to the stock price. I love the debate between which one's less overbought or less invested in, because over a year-long course, Dollar General looks like it's killing it, but then Alex, as you point out, over the last week or two, Dollar Tree is the one that's made the comeback. So it's really tough to know where the expectations lie. If you're a long-term investor, I think that Dollar Tree is more oversold. If you're kind of really zoomed in, then maybe Dollar General is the one that's just been sideways for the last 2 weeks. So it's up for the investors to debate.